The architecture that you should try to build is to make use best of breed for each of the different pieces of functionality. Therefore, if there's some brand new whiz-bang encoder that comes out, you can easily just replace that piece of it without having to replace the rest of the solution. Outside of the technology, there's a lot of different types of people that are going to be involved in this, right? You've got your production people, you've got the networking folks that need to be involved from the distribution side of things. You have the corporate communications, which is a marketing department. So there's a lot of different groups that you need to make sure all have their own requirements delivered and are a part of the initial discussions. I think the projects that I worked on that are typically the most successful are when all the groups have come to the table and are part of creating the solution, versus if just the networking team drives it, then they're going to miss a lot of the key requirements that some of the other organizations have. And then all these pieces now with modern APIs can all be stitched together very, very effectively. Getting the video into the solution and delivering it out really are two different pieces of functionality. When you're doing your production, you've got your production facilities, you can create that content and then it gets delivered by the system. And then now when people are going to do their user-generated content, it's the same thing. It's the same delivery piece is all the same. It's just the input piece that changes. So in this case, there's a variety of ways you can get video, live video sources or on demand, and one's just a camera, right, hooked up to the production. What a lot of the large organizations I work with do is they use the video conferencing rooms as sort of a studio, so that if the person's in office in Chicago and they want to be able to deliver a webcast from there, they'll video conference back to the production studio. The production people in New York, for example, will run the show. All the person has to do is go into the video conferencing room. It's already got nice lighting, it's got nice mics, and then they can deliver the content from there. Skype for Business is becoming a more popular video source as well. And then in a lot of cases, if you're doing a remote production, like at a hotel or something like this, we would typically recommend that they take an encoder on site, deliver that content back to a decoder, which can and then they can run it all through the production back in their facility. So the key point is that it all goes into one production facility and then it gets delivered out from there. So then it will run into an encoder. It can get delivered internally via multicast or peer-to-peer, and externally it can get delivered through streaming service from a CDN.